las caras lindas de mi gente, de mi raza. Aguanile, mai, mai, buscando guía de orilla tan divina. Aguanile, mai, mai.
Being chosen to be a part of the trip to Vieques, Puerto Rico was actually an honor for me, and especially being a part of the radio station. I knew that the first two trips, the students as well as the faculty that went down there helped a lot with the recovery of Maria, and I knew with this trip it was more of documenting the progress as well as continuing the help and the relief.
Well, for me, this was the third time that I visited Vieques. And really the third time, it was tremendous seeing the progress right away that they made on the island, rebuilding some of the malecón and rebuilding some of the houses, rebuilding some of the restaurants that were down. And to see that the island was really in full power again with the electricity and running water, it was wonderful for the new group of students to experience and for them to go out into the field and work and learn a little bit about the island that we had the chance of visiting the first two times.
I think many others fought this battle to get the Navy out of Vieques because it also was a manifestation of U.S. colonialism. People came to this struggle from a perspective of self-determination and the right of the people of Puerto Rico to be free and independent. Others came to it from a perspective of environmental justice. Others from a purely ecumenical, spiritual perspective.
Growing up, my grandmother and my parents would always talk to me about the disaster in El Salvador and why they chose to flee and were pretty much refugees, and now I understand why. I took several classes, several Latin American study classes my previous semesters, and I learned a lot about how the army and the coups that they formed would go into Latin American countries and pretty much destroy them. That's what they did to my country, but going to Puerto Rico, and it was the second day when we were in the lecture with Rob, and he was talking to us about how they trained the military and the Marines and everybody in Vieques to pretty much go out and destroy countries like mine. It made a lot of sense, and it was very helpful learning all of that and put everything into perspective, seeing how, people in Vieques hated that there were trainings going on in Puerto Rico, and they fought completely against that.
Each of our trips to Vieques centered around really establishing and helping this community radio station that they had was improving the communication of the island itself, but specifically collaborating with the community radio station WVQR Radio Vieques. And the first time that we went there, we assisted them by giving them a brand new computer to improve their programming, for them to have a brand new computer. Second time was establishing the sister station relationship, a really symbolic gesture that mentioned that a radio station in the mainland United States and a radio station in Vieques working together, collaborating with sharing programming, sharing music. And this last time, it was really, showing the kids this is what we did and why we wanted to do it. And now we want more programs that we can send out to Radio Vieques and vice versa. Hopefully just teaching some of the youth out there, some of the middle school and high school students that just like how we do in the United States and at Brave New Radio and teaching the youth in radio and radio broadcasting and community outreach, you can also do the same thing in Vieques. You can learn about radio and radio broadcasting and realize how important it is to the community and to the people living there.
Es que el proyecto de Radio Vieques, a mí en lo personal, me llena. Me llena porque yo creo que es bien importante que nosotros en mi país tengamos una radioemisora, una forma de comunicación de las comunidades que no esté casada así políticamente con ninguna de las entidades que gobiernan en la colonia. Entonces, aquí todas las emisoras de radio tienen una agenda política, ¿verdad? Aunque se cantan comerciales, y no hay una plataforma donde la gente como yo pues pueda expresar preocupaciones.
Once we were there, especially it was like our second to last day, and we went for the ham radio meeting that they had. It was like people were graduating and getting their license. They were talking about how important and how appreciative they were that the not only like Brave New Radio representatives were there, but just the sister relationship that we made with Vieques and how much that has helped them. And I guess I never really knew how important it was until I got to sit down and talk to some of the people and the radio station that said like people like us or like Shanae who actually stayed down there and has been contributing way more than what we have been like personally since she's already there.
There's a lot of potential with this radio station, and I saw what was missing. I have this like sociological eye that I notice when things are just off, and I noticed that a lot of the people that were working in Radio Vieques were older. There weren't any young people here, and there's so many young kids on the island. And then when we were here in January, we had a couple kids follow us around, and we were kind of like their mentors. And from hearing from their perspective what was lacking, you know, like they were bored or they didn't have anything to do, people were turning to the streets or they're smoking, and all these negative things. And I was like, you know, I feel like I want to help the youth.
We established great relationships with the people on the island, the natives of the island, people that actually live there, residents. They love the fact that we were there.
People would stop us on the street sometimes, you know, we would walk to like the green store and get some like snacks or whatever the case may be. And they'll be like, oh, you go to William Patterson, like we appreciate all the work and the efforts that you've done and helped us.
They, you know, were ecstatic to see that people were interested in learning about Vieques and helping Vieques, because after Hurricane Maria, Vieques was completely ignored.
We went to a beach, it was called Sun Bay, and we were taken on a trail to clean off some of the debris that was left from the hurricane. And I thought, since, you know, it was long after the hurricane, maybe like a year after, there wouldn't be a lot of debris left. But since we spent a lot of hours there, you know, helping out and making the trail easier for people to walk on, I realized, you know, after everything, it was like, wow, we actually did a lot. Towards the end of our trip, we went to Playa Negra, which was another beach, and we did pretty much the same thing.
Also cutting trees and shrubs, a path leading to the Black Beach. We were putting down stones for people to walk on. They were also happy. I mean, they were excited with the fact that we were there cleaning the trails and clearing up the trails. And it's like, you know, these are tourists. These people are normally come here to go to the beach and just hang out, to relax, and, you know, just be a typical tourist. But for Americans to come down and clear the trails and you know, be active in the community itself was, I guess, heartwarming for them, and they were excited. They were happy.
It's way more than I would have ever imagined or could have ever understood until I was actually there and they were telling us, you know, word for word, how much they appreciate us.